So welcome everyone. Who are joining my session today after your long weekday. But yeah, let's just do something into Power BI and learn something new today. So yeah, welcome everyone for my conditional formatting tricks with Power BI session. Before I start the session, I'll just like to give a little bit introduction about myself. So those who don't know me, my name is Pragati Jain and I'm a Microsoft Data Platform MVP. I'm also one of the super user at Microsoft Power BI community. So those who know about this community, but those who don't know about this community, it's like a great platform to learn Power BI and explore some amazing tips and tricks there because people keep on posting amazing solutions for the questions that people ask on this forum. So yeah, just go and sign up on this community because it's like a great place to be, and you learn basically most of the time. So yeah, just go and see the community page. Then I've got nearly 10 plus years of industry experience. And then currently I'm working as a senior consultant at Avanade London. I'm also one of the organizer at Data Weekender conference. So if you guys haven't heard about it, then Data Weekender is one of the nice data Microsoft data based conference. And we have our CF is open for the upcoming one. So we are organizing another Data Weekender conference on 14th May. So if any of you guys are interested, then you can just submit your sessions there. And yeah, we do welcome, speakers who are new and want to start their journey. So just go and submit a session. One fun fact about me is like I'm a painter and I just like to proudly call myself a techie artist. And any of you guys, if you really want to connect with me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I've got my own blog. I'm on Twitter, and I've already mentioned that I'm a super user at Microsoft Power BI community. So I've included my that profile link as well. And I've got my YouTube channel as well. And I'll be sharing this deck after the session. So, you can just get the links from here. Now, before I start the session, the first thing I really want to, show you guys is like what we'll be covering in today's session. So a small agenda, like what we'll be doing. So obviously, most of you might have already worked with conditional formatting in Power BI, but in this session, what I will be covering is I like to start with some basics of conditional formatting in Power BI, like what default options Power BI already gives you. And then we'll move a step up to see what advanced things we can do in regards of this conditional formatting in Power BI. So that can be related to creating some custom measures or bringing in some custom icons. And then we'll also see some tips and tricks that I really like to use in my reporting in day-to-day life, which really makes your report and users life easier. So let's just explore those few tricks as well. So let's not wait for it and let's just start. So basically I'll be showing everything in Power BI today. So it's like just a one slide and all demo session. So this is my Power BI file, which I've already got opened and ready for you. And I've got a simple data set, not too much into the data. It's a very simple data containing, manufacturing cost of the different coffee products around the world. So if you can see, there are a few things like you can see the market type, market size, you can see different kind of coffee products there, cafe mocha, espresso, Darjeeling tea, Earl Grey tea, and so on. Then you can see like against different countries or state, you have got different kinds of features there. Like for example, their total sales, the total profit they have made, their margin, how much they expense, their expenses regarding their manufacturing cost, their sales and profit. So there are different kind of metrics there, but we really don't need to go into detail because this session is not focused on the data. It's more on different conditional formatting tricks in Power BI. So let's just get started. So before we start with something, obviously we need a visual in Power BI and then with some information in it, and then we can start, putting some conditional formatting tricks in it. So let's start with a simple visual. For me, the simplest visual in Power BI is a table visual. So what I'll do is on this table, I'll just try to bring some information. So this is the data that we have in Power BI. Let's just bring some things like, for example, let me get the date and I can get some product line. And maybe I'll get total sales for these product lines, different product lines. And what I'll do is I'll also just keep the year and month part of the date. Okay. Oh, sorry, did I just click that wrong? Sorry. I'll just keep the year month part of the date. Okay, so this is a basic information where I'm, just trying to show sales of my different products over different time. Okay, now suppose if I have this simple table visual in my report and I really want to add something that, gives users some different way of identifying things. So for example, if I really want to add some kind of conditional color formatting on this product line column based on the sales. So how do I do that? So before we do that, so first we'll explore some basic things that we already have in Power BI. So once you click on this visual, what Power BI gives you is, and when you go under formatting options, there's something called conditional formatting. So this is what conditional formatting is. And if you expand it, there are like different kind of options. So first thing, when you want to apply conditional formatting, the first thing what you really need to select here is like on what column you want this conditional formatting. So for example, in this case, we are looking for product line column. We want to give it some kind of conditional formatting based on the sales of those products, right? So in my case, I'll select product line. Now, further down, when you see, there are different kinds of formatting options. So first is background color, then font color, then icons, and then web URL. So we'll be exploring each one of them one by one, but let's start with background color formatting. So suppose in this table visual, I want to give background color formatting to my product line column based on the sales. So how do I do that? First thing, obviously you want background color formatting. So just switch on this. Just enable that first. And once you do that, you get a new window open. Now, what options do you see in this window? The default options, if you see, first thing, okay, you want to give background color formatting for your product line column. So that's on the window. Just make sure that's right, because that's the, thing you need to know that you have selected the right column for your formatting. Okay, so that gives you a confirmation. Okay, I've selected the right column for my product, for my background color formatting. Then the second option, what you see here is, the first is format style. Now, when you expand it, there are three different kinds of, format style. So first is gradient, then rules, and then field value. We'll explore all these things, but let's start with the gradient one, what gradient does. Now, as the name suggests, gradient is more around creating a gradient of colors, right? Okay. Now, the next option is like to what kind of values or attributes you want to apply this kind of format style. So when you expand this option, you have got three things: either apply to the values of this column, or you can apply to values and totals both, or you can just apply to totals. In this case, I'll just stick to values only. So I just want to apply background color formatting to the values of my product line column. Then the third option here is like based on what field you really want to apply this formatting. Now in this table, we had sales. We want to apply background color formatting on product line column based on the sales column, right? Total sales. So what we'll do is here we'll search for the sales column. And it's sales, and obviously the type of summarization I'm looking for is total sales. But there are different kind of summarizations available as well. Like, for example, if you're not working with sales or something else, like maybe profit or some other kind of metric, you can, you're free to choose like average, minimum, maximum, count, standard deviation, variance, median, and so on. So it completely depends on what kind of metric you are using and what your requirement is for, creating that kind of background color formatting. Okay, I'll choose the sum because I want to go with the total sales for a product line. Then the next option here we see is how should we format empty values. So for example, if you've got empty or blank values in your column, then this window gives you an option how you really want to show those empty values. Now, in my case, my product line column is very clean, so I don't have any empty values. But suppose if you have empty values, you can choose the relevant option which works for you. So in my case, I'll just keep it as it is. Then the next thing comes is what now you need to choose what kind of colors you really want to get. Now, by default, what Power BI does is it chooses the minimum value in that sales column, gives it this color, and maximum value in that sales column and gives it this color. That's what it has done by default. Let's just go with the default option and click OK and see what it does. Once I hit OK, what it did was it actually created background color on my product line column. Now, suppose if I sort my sales, because this background color formatting is based on the sales, right? So what I'll do is I'll just see like whether my formatting has worked right, like from light shade to dark shade. So if my sales are higher, background should be darker. And if my sales are low, background should be lower, I mean lighter, right? So let's just sort it once. So when I sort it, and if I go further down, I can see it starts with the minimum sales value, goes up and goes to the maximum. So I can see, okay, it has applied from lighter shade to the darker shade based on how my sales are progressing to the maximum value. So that looks right, but let's see if we can modify it, to some other additional coloring as well. So what I'll do is, again, I'll go to my format option, click on the advanced control, that gives me the same window again. And let's introduce a third color. So if you see, there's an option to add a middle color. And let's go with this, whatever the default color is. And if I hit OK, I get that kind of, gradient background coloring. So it starts with light blue, goes towards my amber yellow color, and then further goes towards my dark blue color. So that's the basic background color formatting. Now let's just explore other options quickly, because this is the basic one. So let's just quickly finish them. So I'll just copy and paste this visual. And what I'll do is I'll just bring in another column. And let's just, name this like what we did here. So this was basically our background color format, right? So let's just keep it like what we have done there. Next, we'll be looking at font color formatting. So I'll just give it a title. Okay, now one thing what I'll do is I'll just bring in another column to my table, and that will be, say, product type. Okay, so product type just additionally gives me the type of product, whether it's coffee, tea, espresso, herbal tea, and etc. And let's just do a few more things so we can see them. Okay. Perfect. So this is what I've got. Now in font color formatting, obviously the name suggests font color is basically giving color to the fonts, or giving color to the font of the value within your column. So let's do some font formatting on product type column based on sales. So again, click on your visual, go to conditional formatting. Now we want it on product type column. So we select product type column, and this time we are going for font color. So let's enable that. Now in font color, again, you have similar kind of options, gradient, rules, and field value. Again, we'll go with gradient. We'll again apply it to values only. And this is based on sales. So we'll just go and select our sales again. And I'm again going with the total sales. And yeah, we can again give the similar kind of color. So let's go with some darker colors because they are font color. So just let's see if we can see them properly, right? So let's go with something this. And if I hit OK, I can see some font colors. Let me just make the values little bolder. So you see that I've got some colors here. So if I go down, I start with some kind of orange shade. I go towards my yellow amber shade, and then it turns out to the darker red shade. So that's the simple font color. And also one more thing that I really want to show here is, when you're applying any type of formatting, you do get an option to give a custom value as well. So for example, if I just don't want to go with lowest, middle, or highest value, I can select a custom value, give that value here, and apply the proper kind of formatting that I'm looking for. So you can give that custom value as well, like minimum can be a value, center value, and your maximum value. Okay, so that's what our font formatting was. Let's just quickly look at one more thing. I'll again copy the visual, just not creating it again. So we just save some time. So that's another one. And what I'll do here is, okay, now under formatting option, suppose I want to add some kind of formatting to my numeric value. Okay. For example, sales in this column, then suddenly a new option appears in the type of formatting, which is called data bars. So if I go back to product line or product type, I don't see that option because it's text value. But as soon as I want to apply a conditional formatting to a numeric kind of value, a new kind of conditional formatting appears, which is called data bars. Now, what data bars are, let's see. So I'll just switch on this. And you can see like it has somehow created some kind of, bars. If I go down and if I go up, I can see the bars. Okay, 1 second. Let me bring in a new field because sales are very much near, so we can't see that progression. And let's do that on, let me remove this as well. Okay, and let's do that on profit. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll just move sales from here. So what we'll do is we'll apply this data bar formatting to a profit column. So I'll go and select my profit under conditional formatting. I'll switch on the data bars. Now, once I do that, Power BI by default adds those bars. Now, what bars are basically doing, they're just showing you a kind of progression on the value when, just looking at the minimum and maximum value in this column. But let's see what options do we get. So if we go and click on advanced control, we can see a window for data bars. Now, if you see the data bars, same thing at the top, you can see you have applied data bars kind of formatting to your profit column, right? Now, the first thing here is if you really just want to show bars and not the values, you can choose this option. So for example, if I enable this option and click OK, I don't see values there, but I just see bars. But I generally prefer having values there because sometimes it's, not easily taken by users, like what these bars, what values they're representing, because a bar is just a bar. It doesn't have an axis, anything like that on as an x-axis to show you what value is that. So it's always good to have that value. Then again, on the data bars, we have got similar things. You can choose lower or highest value, or you can give a custom value. Then you can show like positive bar or negative bar. So for example, positive bar could be, say, green color. And if your column has got some negative values, you can just make them shown as red color. And this is axis. Axis is just giving, a breakpoint between this columns data bar. And obviously you are free to choose the direction of the bar as well, like should it go from left to right or right to left. So I generally go with left to right because it kind of makes sense to me. Okay, if anything is growing or progressing, it goes from left to right. But yeah, it's completely up to your, utility, how you really want to do that. And if I hit OK, I can see, and let me just sort it by profit as well. So if I go down, I can see, okay, for all these things, how my values are, progressing in the profit column. So I can see like, okay, it starts with 1600 and goes till, 4127. So that's how, your bars could help you just in representing your value in a table visual, showing a progression kind of thing. So that's what data bars is. I don't think are there any questions till now? Because I know most of you must be already knowing this stuff.
There are no questions in the chat
Okay,
right
cool.
now.
Yeah, let's just go to the next one. Let's quickly explore like how we can, use certain rules within Power BI to, give these kind of conditional formatting. So far what we did was like we can, use the default option in Power BI where it takes the minimum and maximum value of the column and gives that kind of conditional formatting. But what if you really want to write some kind of custom rules, like, okay, I want to define some rules and then give certain colors to my values. So how does that work? So let's just see how this will work. And one more thing here is in a single visual, you can have multiple kind of, formattings. Like for example, in this visual, we had background plus font. In this, we had background plus font plus data bar. So yeah, you can have multiple type of conditional formatting within a single visual. Obviously, if it suits your requirement, then it works. If it not, then just keep it to one, because you should create a visual which gives the right information to the user, not like put everything in a visual and just make it messy. So yeah, so you can do it just how you want it to be. So let's just go with the rules and see how we can do that with the rules. And what I'll do is I'll move another thing here, product type, and let's move date. Okay, let's move something else so we get some kind of granularity. Okay, let's keep these three things. Now, what I really want to do here is I'll create some custom rules and then try to give some kind of background color formatting to product line. So in this table, what we have got some information and we just want to tweak our rules for background color formatting by writing custom rules. So what we'll do again, click on the visual, go to formatting options, go to conditional formatting. And obviously I'm giving a background color formatting to my product line column. So I do that and I go to advanced control. Now, if you remember, under format style, there were two more options. One is rules and one is field value. So now we have already seen what gradient is. Let's go with rules. Now, once you go with rules, then Power BI brings a new, just line of rules below in the window, like where you can actually write certain rules. Now, obviously, let's go to the option one by one. Again, let's apply it only to the values and it should be based on our sales. So yeah, that's right, on total sales. But now we want to give a certain rule. So let's see how we can write those rules. So it's a simple if-else statement. So if any of you guys are coming with coding background or if you've worked in Excel, it's more like writing a simple if-else statement. So let's just start writing. And before writing, one more thing. You can write these rules either on a numerical value or on a percentage value. Okay, but we'll just go with the numerical value. So let's just see if our value is greater than equal to, say, something around 20,000 and it is, say, less than equal to 30,000, then let's say we'll give it a color, say orange. Let's go with little lighter color. If you want to add a new rule, you can again just click on this plus icon. It adds a new line where you can add your another rule. And the next one will be for me if it is greater than 30,000 and that's a number. And if it is less than equal to, say, 70,000. Sorry about the distribution I'm giving here. But yeah, you can write the way it needs to be. And let's give the next color as this. And the next rule will be if it is greater than, say, 70,000 and it is less than equal to, say, 130,000. And I'll give it a color, say, light blue. Okay, and I'll just hit OK. So what it did was it has given background color based on the rules I've defined. So that's how you can do. The only thing, the challenge what I find with writing these rules is like, obviously you need to know a minimum and maximum value in your data before for writing these rules. But yeah, let's see how we can overcome these things, by just writing a custom measure in upcoming minutes. So yeah, this is how you write a custom rule, and similar kind of rules you can write for font formatting as well. So if I just copy this and show you, so I'll just get the visual, and suppose if I want to give some kind of font color formatting to my same product line. So I'm just avoiding writing that rule again, guys. So if I go to product line and rather than background color formatting, suppose I want to give them font color formatting. So how I do that? So it's the same way. We'll just go to rules. We'll base it on the sales, and yeah, we can again start writing the same rules. So I'll just quickly write them. Less than equal to, say, 45. We give them light orange, add up a new rule, and we just write 45,000. And yeah, yeah, these rules can be modified. You can write as many are, it's just based on your requirement, however you want them to be. So this can be yellow, and the last rule could be greater than 75,000 and then number, and it is less than equal to, say, 130,000, and let's give it like a pinkish and just hit OK. So you can see like there are some kind of font color formatting going on, and let me just make them. So you can see the font color is set. So you can write those rules, to give background font color formatting and even icon formatting as well. So let's see how we do that. So let me just get this again. I'll just copy paste, and what we'll do is we'll just get a date again there. And what I would like to do is I would like to add some icons against my, say, profit column. Okay. And here how I really want to add some icons is based on some kind of rule. So let's see how we add icons to our column. So again, click on your visual, go to formatting, and we go to conditional formatting. I want to give it to my profit column, and I want to be icons. So by default, what Power BI did, it added some icons on this column by itself. OK, let's see what it did. Just go to advanced control again and see what rules Power BI had applied. So whenever you want to use icons in Power BI, there are only two options to go for, either rules or field value. Field value is where you can leverage the benefit of basically custom measures. But rules is something which you can write on your own, which we just saw for background and format and font formatting few minutes back. So yeah, similar kind of options, like where you want your icon to be. So for example, if I want it on the right, where its alignment should be, then Power BI gives you a lot many styles of the icons already. I mean, in most of the cases, they are enough. But if you really feel like they are not enough, then there are ways of bringing custom icons in Power BI. We'll see one of the ways of doing it. So what Power BI did was, by default, it just, distributed the value within your profit column, like first 33% of values will be given red icon, then the next 33% will be given this triangle amber icon, and the remaining will be given green icon. But you can definitely tweak them up. Like, for example, if you want to go with the numeric values, you can do that as well. So I won't be showing that setting up rules again, because it's simple. You can just go and, tweak your rules. For example, if you want to go with the number, you can write your numeric value here and give those rules, and then your icon will change. But let's not go with it right now, because I think we'll see a better approach in next 1 minute, because I've already shown you how to write up those rules here. So that's how you can, add quick icons here in Power BI, which are already inbuilt. OK, next we'll move to usage of custom measures in Power BI to,
we've got a few questions. We've got a few questions as well.
Yeah, we can.
So Shivanand wants to ask if we can use the same formatting type on more than one columns. So for instance, I'm assuming that you set the background color. Can we easily set that on 2 columns at the same time?
Yeah, definitely, because you can do it on multiple columns. Let's just do it quickly, because I've never got a need of doing it. But yeah, let's do it. So we have got a background formatting going on in product line. Let's do it on product type, switch on background color, and let's just choose some different colors. So we have that kind of differentiation going on. And if I click, and obviously this needs to be, say, on sales column, which we use for the other column, and hit OK. So yeah, you can have the same kind of formatting going on in multiple columns in the same visual. But yeah, make sure that if it is making sense out of it, or it is giving some additional insight, because these kind of things can generally, confuse people. So yeah, but yeah, definitely you can do multiple formatting.
Okay, but yeah, I'm assuming that he was referring to, do I need to set the rules again, which is the case. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yes. You have to set the rules again, because you remember, I thought I didn't have to do it again, but I had to.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just can't reuse that rule. You'll have to write that rule again for the another column. Yeah.
Okay, then the other way around. So Ken wants to know if we can use the same column twice, but with a different style of formatting. So let's say a background color and a font color in the same.
Yeah. So for example, on this product line column, we have already got font color formatting going on. This is product line. Now, suppose I want a background color as well, or let's go with icon, because background color may just mix things. So yeah, we can add some icons here. So for example, let's go with sales again. And let's put on right of the data, and yeah, we'll just go with the default rules and hit OK.
That's good.
So you get icons and font color formatting. Similarly, you can have font color formatting, background color formatting together. So it shows you here, once you select a column, it shows you all the kind of formattings you can put on that column. Even you can go and put a background color as well if you want. So that's how you can go with multiple formatting in a column.
Yeah, but that that one doesn't look as pretty anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
I mean, the background and font won't look great
Yeah.
together.
Okay. One more question.
Mhm.
Okay. So Ken is following up. Can you also do that after adding the field twice to the table? So if you add the field to the table twice, can you do the conditional formatting again on that as well?
Oh, you mean I add a product line again?
Yeah.
And then do a formatting. This could be tricky because you have moved the same column to the visual and Power BI just, I mean, identifies it like there's already a formatting going on.
Yeah.
But let's try one thing which just came to my mind. If I just rename it, does it do that? But I don't think it won't because it still takes it.
No,
It just renames
it,
both of them.
it
So
renames
yeah,
both of
you
them.
just
Yeah.
can't do that. Yeah, you just
Okay.
can't do
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
great. Okay, good. A general question from
Yeah.
Sergio as well. Um, how big of an impact does conditional formatting have on performance, report performance?
I've I've actually not seen any performance issue with conditional formatting so far because I try to use them all the time, like especially doing those heat maps and formatting on the map visuals, and even in the tables using a lot many icon formatting to show whether the value has gone up, down, or remained same from the previous
Yeah.
year comparison. I mean, I haven't seen a performance impact so far. I mean, I have worked maximum with like a 50 gig of data so far, but haven't seen anything. I mean, I'm not sure if there's a certain scenario where these things might affect, but I haven't seen anything so far. Was this related to a particular scenario? I mean, sorry, whoever has asked the
Yeah,
question, have
it's
they
a general
experienced?
question. So
Okay. Yeah, because
I
I haven't experienced anything, but yeah, happy for anyone to share their experience if they have seen this before, because I haven't experienced anything like that.
I'm generally inclined to answer this with any like I do with any performance question.
Mhm.
Test it, benchmark it, and test it for your specific case. Because we can
Yeah.
say yes, we can say no,
Yeah.
but it depends. Yes, it
Yeah, I
depends.
think it depends. Yeah, it could depend on a different scenario. Like sometimes if you are using like different kinds of data sources, like which are already taking a lot of time while getting imported in Power BI, and then on top of that, you write certain rules to apply conditional formatting, then maybe it could be slower. I mean, obviously I haven't tested that, but could be slower. So there could be other factors affecting performance while you're applying conditional formatting, not just conditional formatting, I would say.
Yeah, okay. There's a few more questions, but we'll
Yeah.
tackle those in the next breakpoint so that you can carry on. Thank you.
Okay, let's just see a few more things. Now let's come to some interesting part. So we saw like, okay, these were some default conditional formatting rules. Okay, very easy to understand, straightforward to apply. Perfect. Let's go something more in detail. Like suppose if I'm really looking for, some custom measures, like I really want to write something on my own, because sometimes when you write your own rules, then it could be challenging. How do you overcome or avoid those challenges? So I would say mostly custom measures are answers to most of the questions in certain scenarios. I mean, obviously there could be scenarios where they can't be answered, but yeah, in most of the cases they work to apply more dynamicity to your things on your report. So let's see how we can do that. So what I'll do is I'll just move a few more things here. And okay, now suppose if I want to give my background formatting, but I want to use some custom measure that I have written. How do I do that? Now, if you remember when we were looking at background formatting, under conditional formatting, when we go and apply background formatting on a column, there was a format style option called field value. Now, this field value is something that allows you to select your own written measures. Now, how those measures look, we'll just quickly see. I mean, obviously, I'm not taking a DAX class here, but I can quickly, show it to you because it's not a, terrible DAX or something. Okay. So what this basically, DAX is doing is it's just taking into account my sales column. And what it's doing is like, it's just I'm just writing a couple of switch statements here. Like suppose if my sales is greater than 7,000 and less than equal to 17,000, then give it a certain color. If it is greater than 17,000, less than 34,000, then give it a certain color. Else give it a third color. Without writing the third rule, which we were doing while using that rules option, we had to always define a third condition, how my third color should be. But in measures, you really don't need to do that because it's just writing a if else condition. If this, else this. If not there, then do this. So that's a simple if else statement. And yeah, obviously I've written it using a switch statement here. So simple tags. Now this is taking into account sales. So my measure is written on a sales metric. So let's put sales value here in our table. So we can make use of this measure somehow to give, conditional background conditional formatting. So what I'll do is I'll remove the profit column and bring in my sales again. And yeah, I can see that. And let's see measure again. Okay, it looks like it values are going way too higher, but we can quickly tweak it. So let's see what are the maximum sales we see in this table. Okay, so let's just quickly tweak the values because I may have moved different columns while writing this measure. So what I'll do is I'll just tweak it a little bit. 5,000 to say 7,000, and if it is greater than 7,000 and goes to say 8,000, again my distribution is not that great, but yeah, let's go with this and then give this column. Okay, now what I really want to do is in this column, in this visual, I want to use this measure to give background color formatting to my product type column. So again, go to visual formatting options, go to conditional formatting. We want to give it on product type column. We want to go with background color formatting. Now by default, Power BI gives you this window, but now we want to use a custom measure. So we go and use that field value option. And here we'll select our measure, which was custom color background. And if I click OK, my background colors are set in that way. So you can see if anything was between 5,000 and 7,000. Sorry about the colors, guys. It just gave it like a purple color. If anything was above 7,000 and less than 8,000, I guess it gave them this red color. And if and to the rest of it, it just gave it this blue color. So that's where you can use your custom measures. And obviously these custom measures are like quite easy to tweak as well. I mean, you can keep on adding your conditions if you really want, but I generally prefer not more than 5 conditions within a switch or if else statement, because if it is more than that, then it's going to take a lot of effort as well. So yeah, that's how you can use, custom measures to give background color formatting. Simply, we can use custom measures to give font color formatting as well. So again, same thing. I think my titles are really going wrong on these visuals, but that's fine. So let's just see what kind of custom measure I've written for this. So what I had was I have a profit column in my data. And again, it's the same thing. It's taking into account my total profit. If my profit is between, so I have got some negative value as well in my profit column. So let me just quickly see what visual did I create so that we can see some negative values. So what I did was, okay, I've got year, state, product type, and profit. Okay, let's go back and do that because I want to show those negative values. So let's go and in the date, I've got year, I'll move state. Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry. And let's move profit. Sorry, because my measure is based on taking into account my profit column. So I think I should be able to see some negative values. Cool. So I've got some negative profit in my data as well. So that's why I wrote that measure that way. So if you see so it's just taking into account my total profit. And what I'm doing is basically I'm trying to, highlight all the negative values as red color, anything greater than equal to 0 and less than equal to 1,500 as this color. And then again, the third condition and my fourth condition by default give this color. So simple switch statement, not a big deal for anyone to do that. So what I'll do is now in the same way, we go to the formatting option and I'll remove the background color from my product type for now. And let's go to font color. Again, in the similar fashion, we'll go and choose the field value. And in this case, our measure was custom color font. We hit OK and we see that how this has done. So if you see, all my negative values have been given a red kind of font color formatting. So yeah, these kind of things can really help in some scenarios where you are really, trying to highlight few things like, okay, these were the countries that had negative profit for these products. So it's like quite easy to, identify in the data with these kind of formattings, and then anything between 0 and I think 1500 was given this color and so on. So that's where, these font color formatting or background color formatting can really help, especially, identifying those kind of outliners in the data. So that's what we did here. Now, similarly, as we can give, as we can use custom measures for giving background and font color formatting, we can definitely use them to add icons as well. So let me just copy this visual. And what we'll do is we'll just kind of try to add some icons against profit column. So what I did was I again created a simple measure. And it's again based on my total, profit value. And again, simple switch statement like if my value is less than 0, then give it a different icon. 0 to 1500, give it an icon, another icon, and so on. Now, okay, so now there is another way of bringing custom icons in Power BI, which I have never explored because I never got a need to do that. So it's more around bringing in some JSON file and importing those custom icons and then using them in Power BI. But for most of the scenarios, I mean, I've worked on, mostly custom measures work. And one of the benefit with these custom measures is like they just don't allow you to bring static icons. You can even bring some kind of, animated icon. So what I did here was I just bought in some GIF kind of icons here. So let's see how they look here. So this is based on a profit column. So let's go it this way, and we'll again go to conditional formatting. We want this to be applied on profit column from icons. Now by default Power BI gave us this, but come on, we don't want to use this. We want to use our own custom measure. So we just go and select that. So this should be this. And I want my icon on the right of the data. Alignment is fine. I hit OK. Now, 1 second, let me just make them bigger so you see they are actually GIF icons. So if you see them, these stars are a little bit glittering. If you see them closely. So that's how I bought these icons. So how I did them was like anything which was negative in my profit column, I've given them a red star. Anything is between 0 and 1500 has been given golden star, and then so on. I've given a blue star and a green star. So basically this custom measure allowed me to bring some kind of GIF elements here as well. And especially these kind of star ratings can be really helpful if you are working with some kind of data where you want to show some star ratings, and you can bring in these kind of icons. So that's like the beauty of using, custom measure. You can basically bring in anything and it just works. So that's something I really like doing here. Okay, any questions till this point?
We have two questions left over from
Yes.
last time. So Serge asked the question, can we use parameters into these conditional formatting rules? But to me, Serge, clarify if I'm wrong, it's essentially what we've been shown just now with custom measures that can mimic that behavior.
Yeah, so if you bring in parameters, so that's what parameters do. Parameters
Mhm.
help you in tweaking your existing values, right? Like for example, if your sales increase by 0.5%, what will happen? So that's the value that 0.5% is fed by your parameter, right? So the same thing
Yeah,
we are doing is with the measure, we are trying to give those kind of conditions. So yeah, you can definitely do that with the use of a parameter as well.
yeah, exactly.
You have to just use your parameter here and then take that value as an input and give it a certain color. So
Yeah,
that will work. Yeah.
yeah, perfectly. Then one more question from Chris.
Mhm.
Do you know of a way how we can template these conditional formatting rules? So, for instance, when you're starting from a new visual, that you can just grab one of those from a predefined set of rules that you have.
Okay, so if you're talking more about reusing conditional formatting rules, right?
Yeah.
I would definitely go with the custom measure path, because we have written that custom measure already. You can just reuse it in any condition. You have to just change. Like, for example, if you don't want it on profit, but you want it on sales, you have to just tweak a little bit of rules. And obviously, if you are trying to use the same kind of formatting using the same column like profit here, then you can just reuse the measure. I mean, obviously, that's the advantage of measure. You can reuse it in any case. So rather than writing rules within your conditional formatting window, if you write a measure, then that can be used anywhere and any number of times on your same report rather than writing them again.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you. That's all the questions we have for now.
Okay. Okay, now, okay, so we have explored few conditional formatting options in Power BI. We have seen how we can use custom measures. Obviously, there could be more ways of doing things, but I just wanted to show you this. But now I want to move to some kind of tricks that I use in my report, which are more conditional kind of tricks, and that can really take your report to certain different level and make users happy sometimes. So let's look at a scenario where I really want to show some kind of conditional titles. What I'll do is I'm just copying some visuals, guys, which I've already created. So okay, 1 second, not the right one for sure. So we already had this table going on where we created some kind of icons here. So I'm just taking that table here. Okay. Now, whenever you create a report, I mean, obviously our report is just not a visual. We have sometimes lot many things, like, for example, slicers on the reports, and we give users different kind of like capabilities, like they select a slicer and they can, basically slice and dice stuff as well. So how do those things can, just help users to understand a bit more on what they're looking at or what they're viewing? So this is kind of a simple trick what I generally use when users are using slicers, many slicers on the reports, and sometimes, they just keep on selecting slicers and they just don't recall, okay, what all things are selected in the slicer and what information is being shown. So rather than going to the slicer and checking what values are selected, why not we should give users some kind of, capability, like whenever they make a selection, the visual should change their title based on the selection. So they know, okay, this selection is made and that's why this information we are seeing in this visual. So let's try to create some kind of conditional titles. Now, this table, which has just got a simple summary. We've got year, state, product type, and their profit value. Okay, and let's give it a simple title. So for example, this is product summary. Now, as a user, suppose if I select espresso, okay, I know I'm seeing the information for product summary for espresso. And if I select herbal tea, okay, I'm seeing information for product summary, espresso and herbal tea. But what if you can somehow embed these selections in your title? So whenever user makes a selection, they see, okay, product summary for herbal tea, product summary for espresso. So it kind of just helps user in understanding when there are so many things going on a single report and there are so many slicers going on. So let's see how we can do that. So again, our custom measures will help us here. So what I have done is I've created a custom measure, and it's a simple measure, which is basically, taking into account my product type value. The reason why product type value is because on this report, I've got a slicer as product type, and I want to drive the title of this visual based on the selection of this product type. So that's why I'm selecting that value. And then I'm just counting the number of rows that I'm selecting in this slicer. The reason for this is I just don't want to make this slicer a single selected. So whatever values I select in this slicer should be concatenated as part of the title. So if I'm selecting espresso, it should show product summary for espresso. If I'm selecting espresso and coffee, it should tell me, the title should tell me product summary for coffee and espresso. So that's why I'm just counting number of rows to write that kind of logic. And it's a simple if-else statement, like if so the default title, what I'm giving here is summary of products. And if I start selecting anything in the slicer, then it will start concatenating it and build up my, title. So what this is now the thing is, once we have got that measure, how we use it here. So in Power BI, when you go on the formatting option under title, there's something called fx function. So fx function where you can define your own measures. So if you click on it, it seems like a simple window. I mean, same window we had for conditional formatting, and it kind of allows us to, select a measure that we wrote for the title. If I use this title and hit OK, you can see this title just changed to summary of product type espresso because I had espresso selected here. Suppose if I don't select here, my visual just shows me summary of products. Now let's just start selecting. If I select herbal tea, it changes to summary of product type herbal tea. If I select coffee, then it tells me summary of product type coffee and herbal tea. So this information can be really helpful in certain cases. Like for example, if in this visual, I don't have product type, okay? And I have got other information, then how will the user know like which product types are selected? So this can be really helpful. And also it gives like user a straight view on what information they are viewing on, rather than going back to the slicer and checking, okay, what all selections I have made. So this just serves like a pretty good way of, just sharing some extra information with the users and just helping them with doing something less, rather than going through the slicer and checking their selection. They can just see it in the titles of the visuals, what selections they have made. So that's a simple conditional title trick that I generally use. Now let's I'll just show you some kind of, conditional bars that you can create in Power BI. So let's suppose if I've got a bar chart, and on this bar chart, I want to represent sales by different state. Okay, it's a simple bar chart, and let's just sort by state. And what if now in this chart, okay, it's a simple bar chart, gives me some information. It's sales by different state. I can see California here, and I can see different states here. But what if I want to add some kind of, conditional formatting on this? I should not say, yeah, it is conditional formatting. Yeah. So if I want to add some kind of different colors on this, bar chart by rather than defining them, how do I do that? So once you go on this visuals options, format options, and go to data colors, default color is blue. Okay. There is a way where you can actually give an individual color to the states as well. But let's not go there because that's what I'm not looking to do. I'm just trying to give some kind of conditional colors to the sales value represented on this chart. So how do I do that? So again, if you see this fx function and if you click it, it's again the same conditional formatting window which we have been seeing for last some time in this session. So you can just play around with it in the same way you do the conditional formatting in a simple table visual. You can give same kind of formatting to a bar chart here in this case. And let's go with gradient. And here, obviously, I'm representing sales, and I want to give this color formatting to sales based on the sales value. And I'll just select some values like, let's go with this to this. Yeah, and just hit OK. So you can see now how my bars have been, changed. I mean, the color of my bars have been changed. And at the top, I can see a legend, which kind of shows me, okay, the minimum value is 14.89K among all the states, and the maximum value is 96.89, and mid value is this, and how my color gradient is varying from minimum to maximum sales. So yeah, this could be, sometimes helpful in representing the kind of way you're visualizing the information in your chart. So for example, if I sort this by sales now, you can kind of see the variation here. So yeah, that's like a simple trick if you really want to, add some more colors to your bar without really going and doing that effort of giving colors to the individual state. You can actually define it based on the sales here. Then the simple other thing, what I really like to do is sometimes when I'm working with some visuals like map visuals. So for example, let's take this field map and let's say if I want to represent sales here and say if I want to represent profit here in this chart. So obviously when I hover over different elements in different states represented on this chart, I can see, okay, how much profit they have made. Sorry, they are not actually done in the right format. I should have made them currency. So yeah, when you hover that over them, they tell you, okay, how much profit every state is making. But what if, like currently it's just showing you everything in a blue color, but what if you want to create some kind of color variations based on the profit value to different states represented on this map? Then again, the simple trick, I mean, go to your formatting options and there's something called data colors, go on FX function. Then again, we come back to the same window we have been seeing so far. So just like this is based on the profit. So we are representing profit by different states. So we can again go back and, give that kind of color variations on the map. So it kind of tells you like, okay, I mean, it gives a better visual representation of the information. And suppose if you make it from red to green, then it is more easily consumable by users because that's the standard, like red is something bad and green is something good. So you can give that kind of colors as well. So it's like a simple trick to represent your information, just showing you, okay, California and Illinois are really doing good on generating profits, but New Mexico, for example, or New Hampshire, they're really not doing that great. So these kind of, formatting of the colors on a visual can really help, rather than explaining that information, it is self-explanatory sometimes. So yeah, this could be really helpful. And I think one of the last trick that what I really want to show is I think most of you must have already used it. So for example, if I've got a matrix visual and or it could be a table visual as well, not a matrix visual. Suppose I have got some information based on state and I'm just representing, say, total sales. Let's go with matrix. We can move some date as well. And let's move like year here. So what I have got here is like I've got for different states, for different years, how much sales they are making. But now suppose if I want to add some kind of conditional formatting to this, like, okay, just give them some colors. So again, we can go to conditional formatting. And so we'll create a heat map kind of thing, okay? So what we'll do is we want to give conditional formatting to sales based on the background color. Okay, Power BI gave it by itself. And let's just change a few things here. So for example, let's again go, from red to green and yeah, click OK. So it's kind of telling me like, okay, which are doing good and which states are doing good and which states are doing bad. But suppose if I just want to create something like a heat map here rather than showing values. So the trick behind that is we can just go to sorry, I think I've just gone wrong. Yeah. Where's that option gone? 1 second. Did I miss that? No. Go back. Did I miss something? Okay, so this has kind of created a heat map visual. I'm just trying to find out how I can give the same color code formatting to the values, which I just missed somehow. 1 second. Should be somewhere. So what I'm trying to do is I'll just, I just want to give something like, I don't want to see the value. I just want to see the colors. If someone can point me will be really great because somehow I'm not sure where that option gone. I'm not sure if that's in values or it's somewhere else. Okay, what if I go to a simple table visual? think I missed something for sure. If I go to sales, no. There was a way just to give field formatting. I mean, I don't know why that option is not here.
I guess in conditional formatting, when you select advanced controls.
It's a font color. Actually, we go with the font color. My bad. So yeah, let's go back to the matrix. So sorry, was someone saying anything? I was too much into looking at that stuff. Sorry about that. If someone was pointing me to the right direction. So yeah. So we want to create a heat map kind of. Did something just break? Did I just break something? No, it's there. Okay, so let's just do one more thing. Let's give it to values and totals. So I've got that conditional formatting, but what I want is I just don't want these numbers to be shown. I just want them to be shown with the same color. So I get like a heat map. So first thing what I'll do is, because obviously this is a problem in Power BI. Okay, this is something really going on in Power BI for some time. Like if you apply something to values and totals, it just changes it to custom value here. Let's go with values for now, guys. Sorry about that. And I'll just, take my hex codes. So I can use the same hex codes for my values. So they just give me like, similar. Where's my notepad? How can I use my notepad? How do you use a notepad in a screen share, guys? Does anyone know that? Let's put it here for now. Okay. And
Windows are Notepad.
Okay.
And then you can drag it in.
Okay, yeah, I think something that I'm not aware of. I'll just take this. No, I just want to take my middle color, and what I'll do is I'm just grabbing their hex code, so I have exact same color while giving font color so that I can have a heat map kind of structure there. No. Something is really going back there. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, now, okay. So that's what my background color formatting is. And I want to give the same to my values as well. So I just end up with a heat map. So what I do is under conditional formatting, I give a font color formatting as well with the same colors. So did you see like this just helped me in creating a heat map kind of thing here? I'm just not going with the totals right now because something is really going crazy there. But yeah, if we see like we can just end up with something like a heat map kind of visual, and you can just create that in a matrix by just doing a background color formatting along with a font color formatting. So I remember someone just asked a question like in certain, I mean, can we do multiple kind of formattings? Yes, we can do that, but this could be like one of the scenario where we are really looking to show, just the heat map, I mean, not the values. So this could be something like a scenario in there. So I think this is what I was looking to show in today's session, guys. I mean, Benny, do we have any questions?
There are no questions in the chat right now, and I have sent them the reminder that it is close to being the final chance that they have to ask those questions. So no questions at this point.